Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy podcast with the Traders.
G'day with the Traders. I'm Roy. I coach Destroy and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the War Dogs.
And Calvin.
Coach of Calvinator.
Today we are having a look at the mighty. I was going to say mighty. They're a bit fallen and bruised and broken at the moment. But we're looking at the Demons where hopefully Dog is going to sell us a story that they are back.
Well, there's a couple of players we hope will be back because they're priced nicely.
They are.
Is one in particular, but we'll get to him soon. What they've done, they've brought in Cal. They brought in Tom Campbell.
Oh, doom-de-doom-de-doom.
Everyone remember me?
He's still around.
Yeah, so he's gone there to...
Imagine Max's face when he walked in. God, Tom, get out.
Players that they lost, nothing too much. No, Alex Neil-Bullen frees up a spot there. But yeah, like pretty much nothing to write home about with that. But you mentioned Max Gawn, Cow. Now, he's the only player that went over 100 last year. Actually, the only player that went over 90 last year, and he went at 112.
He got it done again.
He did it.
So
he did it again.
He was massive there. We'll remember a lot of stories about him from last year because he was almost like a must-have player. Like he was just one of those players that you sort of had to have because of the season. Funny story out of that though. The guy that won, Chris, didn't have him at all.
No.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
Anyway. So he was very good. That was like his first year without sort of that second ruck. Like you had Grundy the year before, and prior to that, it was Luke Jackson sort of there for him. So he went at 112, so 33. Don't know if he does that again. But he had 8 games last year where he went 120 plus. So pretty big. And which one was his highest score of the year?
Oh, the one straight after his last-minute fitness test.
152. God, that was bad. And that was against Rowan Marshall.
That's where we took the C off him, didn't we?
Yeah, and we took a soft.
A really soft. Softest we've ever taken. 104 captain.
Will you two ever learn?
Oh, well, I tell you what, that tarnished my love for him last year.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it really did.
You can't be having a fitness test and score your highest score of the year.
And looking proppy in it.
Rowan Marshall.
No, exactly.
Yeah, I know. The videos of the fitness test.
They were horrendous.
Good, even if he did pass it.
Yeah. Anyway, move on.
Anyway, so Max Gawn, I don't know where you've got him. Like we can't pick him in classic price at 33 years of age.
I don't think so.
He's number 3 on the list though of rucks on draft day, and is there an argument that you still pick him in the in the first round?
Well, the fact that
or do you just
you
when you get to Max, do you just punt your
Tom's
rucks?
never going to play with him.
No.
He's purely there in case he's hurt.
But Tom, now they've got him there. Does Max get that rest?
Oh, are they in a position they could have a
luxury
rest?
If they had the luxury in that fitness test game, because they just didn't have the luxury of a ruck.
There was obviously nothing wrong with him, though.
So what you're saying is he wouldn't have played that game if Tom was there.
I'm not saying that, but I am saying it. I don't know.
No, I hear it. I hear what you're saying.
But Tom comes in and plays a couple of games every now and then.
Does he?
No.
We've always thought that. He's been in the system for 15 years and he's racked up 40.
He has been a bigger fraud at taking money from the AFL than Calvinator, I reckon, over the last few years.
That's so true.
So they've got 2 similarities. They both
read
look
your
like
articles.
Richard Gere as well.
He does.
Stick to the script.
Sorry, that wasn't in there. Right, what else have we got? Petracca.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So he was the next on the list. So you're paying $923K for him, and that's pricing him at 90. A couple of years before that, 106, 103.
Yeah.
Gun player, as we know. Obviously, he didn't have it very good because he got injured. Pretty brutally injured.
Yeah.
And that brings his price down a bit, like in the sense of there was that game there, but it wasn't having the season that is a Petracca season that we think about. And he was pretty close to DPP,
I was going to say, mustn't have missed that by much, because as a viewer, he seemed to be sitting forward a lot.
That's what his role looked like.
And he saved a lot of scores through obviously hitting the scoreboard, which is why he spent so much time up there. But it's an interesting one. How does he come back? If he had forward status, you would still actually have to think about it, because you don't know how he's going to come back.
Well, it's draft where you're looking at him, because that 90 next to his name, I think he's definitely one of our power-ups for the year. I think he goes better than that 90.
Yeah.
And that midfield, like I feel like Melbourne had a poor season.
Yes.
Like, we're talking about them pretty early in this series.
Yes.
And for a team with a list that looks pretty good.
So do they just get back to basics and go, we need to go bang, bang, our big three back in the middle?
So, and that was Clary,
Yeah.
Jack Viney and Petracca were the big three, but their percentages were down a lot on what they've done in the past.
Yeah.
So, the next one's on the list, like Tom Sparrow, Keziah Pickett, Trent Rivers, not guys that you really think, they're the next ones in there, but they spread it a lot more than they have.
Yes.
Than in the past. That's probably the key takeaway from that.
My fear with Petracca is that coming back from this injury, does he spend a lot of time forward initially?
Be nice for DPP early.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, there is that. Or is he fully fit and
ready
just
to go?
Ready to go, and he just wants to be in the guts? Your scenario is more likely, you would think.
Anyway, monitor those preseason games,
Yeah,
right?
you're going to have to.
He's there. All right, let's talk about the big one then. I'll just mention Jack Viney there as well. Like, he was 100 the year before and 87.4. So, but, yeah, he's just not that fantasy guy.
He's better than that. He's better than the 87. It's just that they had that bad year. You could bump a few points up on all those
And I
guys.
think that's the thing. The D's as a whole had a poor year.
Yeah. And so
They
Viney's
won a
probably...
premiership a couple of years ago.
That's it.
Yeah. So Viney's probably better when he's got a fit Petracca and
that's
Clary
okay,
next to
because he's in a way that banana next to Clary as
Yeah.
the two guys that are the midfielders. Like,
Yeah.
Petracca has forever probably been that more of a mid forward at times and that
Yes.
sort of thing. But yeah, let's get Clary, because this is the key one, and this is the number one picked demon for this year.
Has to be.
because of where he's priced at. So he is priced at 77.7. He ended up playing 21 games last year.
What? That's incredible.
So you think
you
about that.
serious?
But what that's about, though, he didn't have a preseason, or not one that was a great preseason. So now he is. He's been back training. Prior to Christmas, he was there and doing what you have to do at training. That's running and doing stuff.
That's kind of all we need to see, isn't it?
So it's been 18 months that haven't been great for him.
Yes.
So now if that corner's been turned or leaf turned over, what's it
How has
saying?
he played
One of
every
those.
game except the last two?
I don't know.
If that was a trivia question, I would have failed that.
Yeah,
big
well, how
time.
many games did you think he played last year? 15? Is that sort
yeah,
of
15, 16.
Well, the whole preseason, the experts were saying don't expect to see him before round 6 or 7, pretty
Yeah,
much.
and we know how much of a stud he is too. Like, he's gone 100 plus since his second season.
Okay.
Like, in his second season, he went 100 plus, and then the last 4 years prior to last year he was 114.3. That was adjusted for the shortened quarters, so
Yes.
the BCV times
Yes.
1.25. But then 108.7, 112.3, 113.8. Like, it's a massive drop. You're looking at 35 odd points down from what he's realistically done over the last.
Well, before
4
last year,
years.
people were talking about him as the number one player in the game.
yes.
That's what we're talking about here. Now, last year,
He's only 27
a lot
as well.
going on in that. But he, to the eye, on top of everything else, he did not look fit at all. Like,
Had that. Did he have, was it a wrist or a thumb or something?
Yeah, there was something to do with his hand. So he usually looks like someone you'd go, you would not want to run into him out there. Hard as a rock.
Yep.
But last year he didn't look like that at all. He just looked frustrated and angry. If he's coming out looking fit,
Okay.
you just cannot say no to that.
So, obviously, limited preseason.
Yeah.
So, I've got to look here at what he had after the bye. After his bye, he averaged 68.
Yeah.
And in that, there's a 26, a 45, a 43.
They're not vested either.
No. They're basically
They
full
were
games.
bad.
They were just
They were bad.
hopeless.
So, we're talking, even here, like late in the year, after he's had all those games under his belt,
Yeah.
he's still struggling to hit 100.
Yeah, it was amazing. For someone who one of their best attributes is their consistency, last year was just extraordinary.
So, we're backing in nothing to do, we're basically writing off last year.
Yep.
Am I right?
I am.
Yeah.
But I'll need to see that he has committed properly to preseason. Coming back early was a good start.
It was.
If he ticks all other boxes, man, oh man.
So he is priced at 78.
Yeah, one of the true bargains.
It is.
You've got to do it, I think.
I think so too.
We're tracking his pre-season. Some other players of note, I guess, to look through. Trent Rivers, I had to put him in as their dual position tempter because there's not many of them. And he was sort of the one there.
It's a hard spot to fill.
It is sometimes.
It is, but he deserves it.
82 average and had that sort of midfield clock too, which sort of helped that.
Yeah.
The issue with that, though, I'm not backing that in because we should have that fit Oliver and Petracca.
It's going to dry up, isn't it?
Viney. He's not there because like a Keziah Pickett, they keep talking about it and they keep thinking that's the thing, and he does get a bit of time.
He does.
He's missing the first few games though because he's suspended.
So your dual position tempter, you had a plenty of options here, dog. You had Rivers, Jack Billings. Not a bad one you could have.
You would do it because you'd be worse than Roy going, back in 2016.
No. And
We need to wind the clock back music, don't
And
we?
here's another one you could have had. Bailey Laurie, got him!
Tell your story, Walker.
Yeah, there's not much there. That was a little bit of a challenge to
hard
go through
position.
that.
It always is.
Yeah, well, and like a Billings too. I stuck him in that article as a buyer beware because you look back because I go, Cow will find that great average from a couple of years ago.
Dog, that's borderline bullying.
It is.
You can't just keep hitting Billings year after year with this stuff.
You got to find someone to put in there.
That's a brutal one.
That's a bad one.
It is. It's just they're a tricky team too. Christian Salem, is he better than 80?
He's better than 80 every year, isn't he?
Yeah, that's the issue.
Here we go again.
He'll do a calf or hamstring in a first quarter and it wrecks you.
It's a no on Salem.
Yeah,
it's a no thanks.
I think Caleb Windsor might be playing off halfback.
Well, he was all right, wasn't he?
He's got potential.
59 he averaged in his first season.
Straight mid,
the
though.
mid only. Like if he still had that mid forward status, like he did have last year. But yeah, they're pretty tricky. But I think it's time to have a look at some potential cash cows. And Harvey Langford was where did he come? Pick number 6 he was. So 325k you'll pay for him from Sandringham Dragons Footy Factory.
Yes, it is.
Have a good play. A lot of good players coming in there.
He's going to play, dog?
Should be in the mix for round 1. Cow Toomey said he is, and Cow would know.
Did Cow say in the mix or in?
In the mix. Well, let me have a look here, actually.
See.
Did they put him in? Yeah, no. Alison O'Connor put Harvey Langford on the pine.
Well, she knows.
I'll back in Alison.
Cash cow.
It is.
Sounds like a cash cow.
So that's an interesting one there. He's got to be in consideration, but just mid only, and that's where some of that concern, I guess.
Can he score, dog?
Can he score? Yeah, he can score a little bit. So, no, very well. Under 18 championships, he went at 99, so that's good. And at Sandringham, he went at 107.
Oh, can he score?
So that's the thing.
And he's in the team.
That's why we have it. Just an inside midfielder, but that's just throwing another one in the mix. But do they keep it simple with the big dogs, or do they throw some of these guys? Like, that's saying, is that like going, no, sorry, Tom Sparrow, no.
Yeah, I think it is.
Guys, because they need to.
I think it's time to do that.
Xavier Lindsay was another one that can score okay. But we were looking at Cow. If you were going to go your R3.
Oh, yes.
Could you go Tom Campbell? Oh, he's 316, so rookie price.
It's a steal.
Technically.
You could if you had Max on the field. Oh, doom-de-doom. But no.
Might be a plain draft, actually.
It is a plain draft.
Go and handcuff and go and do your pocketing there.
You could do that to him. You imagine draft day when you're around all the boys and you draft and you pick up Tom Campbell late. Nah, it doesn't work.
That's the thing, though. If you've got Max, if you drafted Max,
yes,
you almost should just do that.
You should.
Yeah, but you try telling your mates that far into a draft that was justifiable. You're copping it all night.
You are.
You're
supposed to be an expert.
You just can't do it to yourself.
Yeah, but these are going to be interesting. I think the biggest one there is Clary. Like, he's just the one that we are going to
It's an exciting one to
take and see what they do with these kids as well. But they feel like they're established enough that they, like Langford's the one. Like, he's just the only one there.
Yeah.
They're just going to consolidate, I guess, where they're at and see where that is. So that's Melbourne. I don't know if there's much more I can say apart from...
it's the Clary part.
But I'm with you, though, dog. There's a lot of players there. Nearly every player, you could argue, is slightly unders. So come draft day, you can bump a few of those guys up.
That's if you believe Melbourne are going to be better.
Well, they have to. How can they be worse?
Well, I believe they should be better. I don't know if I've got much belief that they'll back it up.
Yeah,
to be
okay.
honest.
There you go.
Tricky. You can go and pick any of your Ds there at fantasy.afl.com.au. You can start playing, get your league set up for the all-new draft experience at fantasydraft.afl.com.au. Hit the follow buttons wherever you listen to these podcasts, and we want to hear on Spotify. Click on the episode, click on the comment there, and tell us, outside of Clary maybe, who else you might be picking your side. Or if you're not picking Clary, let us know and tell us why. We're all picking him, aren't we?
100%. Lock and load.